Well, I guess we should just start, like, speaking of like seeds and everything like that. The 6 seed Warriors defeated the Sacramento Kings yesterday,
Yeah.
and if there's one thing in the NBA that I take a lot of pleasure in is seeing the Sacramento Kings lose on their home floor in a game 7. Something about it just feels so familiar. Seems so nostalgic about this. I saw Peja Stojakovic sitting on the sidelines, James. Uh, shouldn't he have been barred from the arena as a token of bad luck? Like, should they have just subbed him in the game so he could shoot some air balls for old time's sake? Could we get Chris Webber in there so he could spin in a 360 direction as a way to show he is not a threat?
So, look, this is what I'll ask you. You have to remind me. Did they allow Bill Buckner in the Fenway until 2004 or no?
I'm not sure. I
Okay, because
imagine it would not have gone well for Mr. Buckner.
okay, so like I guess my whole thing is like if you're up north, uptight, super superstitious like sports fan, then like you'll go by their crazy superstitious rules. So like if Buckner never came back to Fenway after '86, then like I guess Peja and Weber and Hedo and the rest of them, Scott Pollard, the rest of them aren't allowed like to Bobby Jackson, Bibby aren't allowed to be in that building. But
Look,
I don't know how that goes. But I do know that
at
after they
least not
won,
for
Bill Buckner did come back and they did give him a great standing ovation.
at least not for no game 7. We know the Kings, the booty holes get tight. We know the lemon starts
my
taking
God.
over. I saw this, and nostalgia jokes aside, Wardell Curry was not losing to no fucking Kings. I'm sorry, it was never happening.
The funny thing about it while watching the game is like, you know, both teams have their 24 players, and literally only 2 of them didn't shit their pants between both teams. It was Steph Curry and it was Kevin Looney. It was like, bro, how does Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Jordan Poole, all champions, all did it just last year. All of them.
Done it all.
Look, Jay-Z, Biggie Smalls, nigga, shit your draws. All 3 of them are like, bro, what is happening? And then the other end, aside from maybe like Keegan Murray and that's about it. Keegan Murray and I want to say the third guard they have, like that's the only people that like showed up and weren't scared out of their minds. I can't remember Davis' first name. That's it.
Yeah, man.
Whole bunch of shook niggas on the floor for game 7. It's funny because like a lot of game 7s. They start with like huge force in defensive intensity and everybody's jittery, and then like the second half it calms down. The game started and like teams were just playing like as if it was like it was a game 6 if they'd been playing, and then the second half came around and like Sabonis had 16 and 6.
Never scored again
at halftime, and then he left the game with 16 and 7. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
There was a corpse out there, a shadow, a literal white shadow, like the TV show out there.
Just man, like Fox. Obviously, Fox had issues with the hand. He didn't play well. Monk, he didn't play well. And ultimately, like the second half came around, and there was an adjustment made. The adjustment was, hey, let's just guard Sabonis the way that everybody that's really good guards Draymond Green. Were like, he's got the ball at the nail or above the foul line, and he's about to facilitate or whatever else. Hey man, just switch every single action on either side, and then worry about the consequences of him having the ball as the shot clock runs down. And from there,
bro, he looked like he wanted no parts of it. That man looked Weberin out there.
Soul sucking misses wide open from 17 to 15 feet as a person that's in drop coverage more or less is just at basically at 12 feet saying, all right, I ain't even look, if you're gonna shoot it, I'm not even gonna try to like contest it from 17 feet. I'm just gonna get a hand up.
Bro,
and
he should have just spun around like Chris Webber and let him know he had no interest.
The sad thing is he couldn't even do that because they were switching all the actions. They couldn't even get someone free to get the ball off while he's out there waiting to pass the ball to one of them. Man, just bad. And the worst part is that was the worst part of his game. He couldn't grab a fucking rebound in the second half. I'm sorry, he grabbed one. One. He
I
did get the
mean,
one.
he was dealing with a bear, apparently. Like, Michael Von Luther decided I'm Moses Malone now.
Yeah. I'm Moses Malone, Charles Barkley, all that. Dennis Rodman, who look, Ben Wallace, whoever he was all of them rolled up into one. This man said, look, so apparently Steph, who rarely gives like the pregame speech or whatever else, gave one. The only person that bothered to listen was fucking Kevon Lee. He's the only one who believed and said in the words of Steph Curry. Everybody else just doo-doo in a fucking compression shorts.
Piss down their leg, you know.
Bro, it was wild. Bro, and we've seen Clay at times in playoff series have a stinker here and there, right?
He did,
but
he did hit that shot at the end of the third quarter. That was like, it's fucking over though.
Oh, you mean was that the one after like 3 offensive rebounds?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So look, as many offensive bro, there were so many trips in a row where like they got like 2, 3, and 4 shots on one trip on the floor. I was like, bro, I think the Clay shot was when I was like, yeah, they're done. Back is broken. Them shits were soul sucking. Like those were worse than like when Sabonis was just missing those foul shots or basically open jumpers from 15 feet. Like that was killer. And yeah, man, like we talked enough about all these other chokers and jokers, whatever else. Steph Curry,
Wardell Curry.
Look,
50.
I did not. I think that's the best playoff game I've ever seen him have. I know people are going to say could point to Game 4 last year. I think given the stakes of it being a Game 7, I think the part where like nobody else showed up offensively except for him on either side, and someone had to make the plays, and he was making all of them.
You know,
in the ease at which he kept getting to the rim.
He did what he wanted. I felt like it was so easy for him to score. I felt like the degree of difficulty of the finals last year, for me, was still put that over the top. But this shit was.
I can see that.
This shit was a religious experience. Like this shit was like, y'all can't stop him. There's no chance to stop him. He's not missing, and like, he's almost better than he's ever been.
For me, it was just the ease of which it was for him to get to the hoop at any time. Like, obviously, the Kings don't have shot blocking unless like Alex Lynn's out there and they didn't play him much. But just like, it didn't matter if it was Fox in front of him. It didn't matter if it was Davis in front of him. It didn't matter. Well, Monk didn't really get much time on him, or even Davion Mitchell. It didn't matter. And Davion Mitchell, look, Mike Brown on the voice clip ups or whatever else. He sounds like a really good communicator. And you understand why people like him so much, but the part where like
I thought you was a defensive coach, Mike Brown.
Look, that's a part of the adjustments over time, right? Like he pushes the pace and all that kind of stuff. But I think he's really good at communicating and he's really good at obviously program building just now. But like the part where like his best defender is Davion Mitchell on Steph Curry, and he only plays 8 minutes. It's like, okay, like he didn't score 50 in the other games, but whatever, man. Like they felt they needed Davis shooting, and he did, knock down some shots. So whatever. But yeah, man, Steph was just amazing, and like I think this is the best playoff game I've ever seen him have. Like I didn't watch any of the finals last year because I was like, that's going to be a muck fest, and I also thought the Celtics were going to win, and I was like, I don't want to see that shit. But I was like, I'm trying to watch that shit. Especially when they got a 2-1, I was like, man, fuck this. I ain't watching. I'm definitely not watching this shit. But yeah.
Bro,
so
it was all that Rudy Tomjanovich, heart of a champion. It's all that shit with these dudes.
Yeah.
Like
So with Steph, it was just like he looked like he was in a different league than these guys. He just did. Right? Like he just looked like one of the situations where like,
they've got
it's a fucking college dude playing a high school game. It was that kind of thing of like he's a whole nother level, and it looked easy for him. Like it wasn't like, we've seen some of these wild Steph Curry games where he makes 10 threes or whatever else. This wasn't that. It was him getting by people and getting to the hoop with fucking easy little layups all the time.
Yep.
And like that was what was impressed me, because like I don't think Steph Curry necessarily like in prior years would have, even with the ease of like lack of shot blocking and whatever else on that team, would have been like, yeah, I'm just really gonna go into the rim over and over and over.
Like he was
and
shooting
like
twos. Like
yeah, and shoot twos, all that kind of stuff. There's even with the fact that he's the greatest shooter that we'll ever see, is like there's also some times where he gets kind of cute with it, whatever else. It's obviously he has the greenest light of all, or he should have the greenest light of all time. But like, yeah, man, like was it 38 shots? Steph don't really want to do that.
Glad he
like
did.
he won't take like 25 shots at best.
But
it was all on him to go do it. He went out there and was 20 for 38. He was amazing. And,
absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
50 points. One of the greatest playoff performances of all time.
Yeah.
And just like, I don't know.
He holds off like them talking about ripping up the blueprint. Like, they lose that game, you got to look back and be like, look, bro, are we really going to go out here and like very similar situation to LeBron in 2012, where it's like, hey man, like we like these dudes, we pay them all the money they're worth, but we really want to run this back, and they can't win no more. Like if they lose in Boston in Game 6 2012 and that 45 game, you probably are trading Chris Bosh. Like if they lose this game, you're in the first round, they're probably like, hey man, best of luck to you, Draymond, and all that kind of stuff. Wish you on or whatever else. Please don't like. I think he has a player option. Please don't take that option. Like Clay,
best wishes.
Do we need to give you the mask? Can we give you 30? Like it would have been a lot of that. So yeah, man, like he kept the dynasty intact for at least another series.
Like in the middle of the season, I remember you asking me like who I think was gonna like get to the finals from the West, and I'm just hesitant to like
pick against them. Yeah,
pick against these niggas like until somebody like eliminates them at full strength. Like, bro, like these boys ain't been beaten in the West at full strength since like 2014. I understand Kevin Durant was there before. They won after him and before him.
Still stand.
What's up?
I said point still stands.
Yeah, like this is not no team to come out here and think some young guys are gonna run them off the floor. Like the team that eventually beats them is like yeah, they're superstars in their prime. Like they were not losing to no like system team that had a great regular season that's just wildly overachieved. They're not going to overachieve that far. And it comes down to Steph Curry just decided, hey boys, get on my back.
That's the main thing. That's the main
get
thing.
On my back, boys.
Like you said, like the championship. I don't think you said exactly championship DNA, but I'm like, I was like, man, I guess like this is Steph Curry saying here, I'm giving you half I'm big. Look, you guys can score your 70. I'll give half 100. We can say that we all got an A on the assignment. Like that. Like me, I've always been like, for all the talk of Draymond or Iguodala or Livingston or Clay or whatever else, and Clay, if he had went somewhere else, would have been a second NBA level player or whatever else. The main thing is there's this fucking guy that like is unprecedented in this league, and he's breaking the league from 25 feet every fucking night. Like that's the guy. Like understand, like people like do the Scottie Pippen stuff about 55 games without Jordan or whatever else. That's cool. Michael fucking Jordan. Michael Jordan. And I'm just like, yeah, Clay, the rest of them, being able to play 5 out, depth line up and 5 ball handlers on open floor, just causing all this corruption, all this confusion for defenses and not knowing how to play any of that shit. Cool. Stephen Wardell Curry. It starts first and foremost with him. Like even when Durant was there, it was still like, yes, when the offense sometimes gets jammed up, you sometimes need someone to be like, hey man, just go get a bucket. And Durant is better than Curry at going in the bucket or whatever else. But it's still like, hey man, we saw what happened when they decided on a whim, like, hey, how about like in the finals? We never did this, but let's just do a Steph Curry and Kevin Durant pick and roll for a bunch of stretches of the game and see how that goes. And like one of the best teams that's never won that didn't win a finals that year got wiped off the floor. So it's like, yeah, man, like it's Steph. He's amazing. And this is another example. And he's what, 34, 35 now?
35.
And he's and he's still 6'3". And maybe $190. Like we don't, with bad ankles, we don't know how much is going to last, but you got to cherish his shit. So yeah, man, like we don't know how many more of these we get, but like the fact that we got maybe his best playoff game at this age is special.
I know whose playoff game we didn't get see the best of. Dillon Brooks, bring your bitch ass to the stage. Bring your ass to the stage. Get in this pack. You, Ja Morant, with your fake gun or real gun, you're fine in the West. You were not fine in the West, sir. I'm sorry. No. Dillon Brooks. I can't believe Dillon Brooks came out here was asking for the 40. Well, much like the Dipset, we gave him the 40. The 40-point beatdown at the end. The pack in the air.
Oh, man.
I wanted nothing else than the Lakers to defeat the Memphis Grizzlies this year, and it happened. This is the best thing LeBron James has given me as a Laker fan.
He gave me all the championship.
Hear me out. Hear me out. I did not want to watch them young punks start dancing and doing all that bullshit on our floor. No. I did not want to watch Dillon Brooks coming out here, doing all that shit. No, didn't want to see it. I did not want to see Ja Morant doing the gun taunts. It is no parade in your city, sir. I'm sorry. None. Yeah. We whooped their ass. That's flat out. We took the belt off. We made it. We walked them to the backyard. We told them get a switch. Make sure there are no leaves on it. Make sure it is not one of them little ones that's just going to break. Go ahead and find you a nice switch. Bring one in here that because if you bring in a switch that isn't right, we're going to go get one and we're going to whoop you the right way with it. We whooped these boys from my dog AR to Rui to AD blocking all these shots to LeBron going left.
That was another great Dillon Brooks part.
We just gonna play him to the left. All right. What scouting report are you what year scouting report are you reading? Dillon
2008.
Brooks?
2008.
Fucking Memphis Grizzlies. Go home. Tear it down.
Yeah, man. So we never talked about this on air, but like earlier in the year, I don't remember if this was like after the Shannon Sharp thing or not. I can't remember, but but I remember you saying like you just messaged me off just randomly. You're like, "Hey, bro, I don't fuck with Dillon Brooks," and I was like, and I remember saying to you like, "What a coincidence." I don't either, because last year in the playoffs in that series against the Timberwolves, I thought that he was like destructive to their team. I was like, bro, you cannot. This is the when you see people in the playoffs and you finally see them, because a lot of times there's so many teams, so many games, you can get an idea of what's going on. But and also like the regular season isn't like the playoffs, and we're learning more about that now, more and more with like, these trades and also with like load management, whatever else, like. To see him in that first round series against D'Angelo, and keep in mind, D'Angelo Russell was on the other end, right? Like shooting terrible shots early in the shot clock, fucking up. And I'm just like, bro, why is this dude getting free reign to throw up these bad 3-pointers with like 18 seconds left in the clock? Or not 18, like 15 seconds left in the clock. And driving into the lane and not having an idea or plan on what to fucking do once he gets there. This is all just ill-advised. It's bad. Like, they're going to get smoked by Golden State in the next round. And sure enough, they did. But, they talked all that shit. And, like, for a lot of people, they like the young, what do you call it, young confidence and all that kind of stuff. For me, it's like, sure, but I don't think you're actually good enough to actually get to this next level. So it's going to be a painful crash for y'all when this happens. So flash forward to Rich saying he don't like this dude. I was like, bro, I haven't liked this dude all like since last year. And then and then also like what he did to Gary Payton II when he broke his elbow. And I'm like, yo, bro, I don't like this dude. And then like all year long in the second half of the year, or basically after New Year's, it was just one thing after the other with like Dillon Brooks getting into it with Shannon Sharp on the sidelines for no fucking reason. Like, the Draymond stuff. Then we found out, oh yeah, like you actually like when you're at Oregon, you said that you wanted to be the Draymond Green of your team. Like, oh, you fucking flip up, bitch. Anyway, then the other stuff he said along the way about like talking about other players, and it's just like, and then he gets to the LeBron thing, and it's like, I don't respect nobody till they give me 40. Who do you think you are? Like,
What have you done?
Don't get me wrong. Like, he's somebody that, I think will eventually make an all defensive team, like a second team all defensive team. Like, he is a great defender, a great individual 101 defender. Like, as far as a team defender, not so much. But like, the idea that you, as a guy that like is just a lot offensive liability to your team when you're out there, is going to say this, is like, bro, we didn't hear Tony Allen saying this kind of shit. What are you talking about? And Tony Allen was out here giving some of the best wings that we've ever saw, all kinds of hell, and also give you the threat that he'll beat their ass if it came down to it as well. And even him wasn't talking that shit. Like, we were thinking, like, look, man, Tony Allen might as well play in some Timberlands.
Right.
So I just didn't respect it. And then when it came down to it, they talk about, time reveals true character, all that kind of stuff. Me personally, I do not think that he actually intended to hit LeBron in the groin. But the rules have changed over the years when it comes down to like intent or whatever else, when it comes to somebody hitting someone in the nuts or in the head or whatever else. And that's fair, whatever. He gets ejected and he played shitty in the game before that happened. And then when it was time for him to, come to the microphone, that he's talked all this cash in these microphones all year long, coming to the games dressed like a fucking buffoon for attention, because he wants people to look at him. Look, he's almost like some NFL DB shit. Like, I'm the new guy. I want to talk shit to get my name, and I want to be in commercials and that kind of shit. It seemed like one of those kind of things. When it was time for him to be in front of cameras, like he's wanted all since 2023. He ducked out. He said, "I'm out," and then didn't want to do an interview. And then, when they won that game in Memphis, game 5, didn't want to talk. And then when the series over, after he shot him out the series because Luke Kennard should have been playing over him, but Luke Kennard got hurt, he didn't want to talk again. He
cut his fucking mic off.
He got out of the locker room for the media can get in there, which means by, according to some people on Twitter, he got dressed to his streets without washing his ass. So yeah, man. There's plenty of stuff to go around for even Desmond Baines and especially for John Moran. My main thing is hey man, Dillon Brooks needs to be going off that team. He was not like he's helping or he's hurting more than he is helping in the net sense, on the floor and off the floor and on the perception of the team. And now that the stars out here fighting kids and pointing guns at them, they don't need any more. They don't need any more help being unlikable. So yeah, get him off the team. Wherever he ends up going, he'll end up somewhere that doesn't matter, and we'll never have to hear about from him again until he injures somebody else. So whatever.
I got a couple ideas for spots for him. Shanghai, Guangdong, Taiwan. Maybe Dwight Howard needs some help winning the title over there. We could send him to Olympiacos. Real Madrid.
I don't think they want him over in the EuroLeague.
Shit. What else? Who else they got over there?
I don't know, man.
What was Luka Doncic's old team called? I'm not sure, but
I can't remember.
Barca, this shit.
Just look. He's coming to the league, so we ain't got to worry about it. I'll be like, look, man, just keep him away from Wembanyama. just keep him away from the Metro 92s. Just keep him away. We ain't got to worry about he's coming to the league. So, hopefully they never interact ever.
Lakers Warriors round 2.
Round 2?
Yeah, coming up.
What was round 1?
Lakers versus Warriors the next round. And
round 2. I thought you meant round 2 like it's a rematch. That's what I meant.
No. Lakers haven't played the Warriors since like someone said 1991. So like there's no real history there or anything.
I mean, outside of like seeing like, the 80s games of like Magic Johnson giving Roby Free that was giving him work? I can't remember.
Sleepy Floyd once again, I believe.
What the fuck? It's a Sleepy Floyd show?
Bro,
I guess so.
Sleepy Floyd twice on one show. Unbelievable.
Yeah. He was one that was giving Magic buckets in the late 80s when Magic was, couldn't be in front or stay in front of any point guards at that point in time. Yeah. But yeah, man, like should be super fun. I know the league is thrilled about it.
Oh, yeah.
Like I almost asked Zach Porter to like similar fashion to the slap fight thing with Inoki. I almost asked him to put a picture of David Stern smiling in a picture of Warriors versus Lakers.
Wow.
Like I almost did that. I decided not to. Like, that's in poor taste. We'll leave that alone. And also, I think both of these teams is flat out just won on own merit. There wasn't no conspiratorial thing. Like, this is flat out like the two better teams in their series won, and now they'll face each other. So yeah. But I did have thoughts of that.
The olds still going.
Old school.
Our generation is still going.
So hold on. So because
stand back, youth. Stand back, young niggas.
Bro, I gotta tell you, have you seen the State Farm commercial this year with Chris Paul, where like they talking about like old school shorts, wearing like old I want to get car insurance on my old school car, but what about bringing back the old school shorts? And in my mind, I'm thinking like, oh, they're about to show like the Larry Bird, Magic Johnson shits that's basically like compression shorts, bro. It's Chris Paul coming out. He's wearing super baggy pants, and I felt so old. I was like, yeah, we did do that. It was exaggerated how big them shits were. Them shits like capri pants. So I was like, yeah, we were crazy out here with the baggy shit. And I was like, hey man, I was like, fuck y'all, this ain't old school. That was just a few years ago. Fuck y'all. But,
you had to be there.
But yeah, like you think about it in the West at least, right? You got Chris Paul and Durant, for the West Coast or for the old school. You got LeBron for the old school. You got Steph Curry and Clay for the old school. So we got a 75% chance to get to the finals, Rich. Us, middle-aged niggas.
Still running this league.
Yes.
You can have a regular season.
Yes. Look, thank God for science. Thank God for science, medical advancements to keep this going. Look, what if KD, Steph, and LeBron keep doing this for another half decade? Oh man. But yeah, yeah, man, it's gonna be fun. People gonna get carried away and take it overboard with whatever happens one way or the other. But it's like, hey man, this shit don't matter one way or the other. Look, the Warriors can win the finals. The Lakers win the finals. I don't think it means anything for either one of them as far as like a comparison between those two, which people want to do. But if that's what you want to do, the scale. I see the Griff is in full swing as far as that one.
I feel like you might just have to ask a question.
What? Oh, like, is LeBron better than Steph Curry at age 38? No, he's not. That's fucking dumb. Like, why would we ask that question? Oh, well, he did. Well, what they did. Well, the Lakers did win that series. So what? Like, if the Lakers win this series because AD will have averaged like 35 and 15 or some crazy shit. So yeah, man. Like, I honestly like. From people that the opinions I trust, like it's a coin flip for a lot of people. I guess I really feel like a lot of people are scared off of what happened in Game 7 with everybody else in the Warriors except for Looney and Steph. But yeah, man, I just think that like their offense is just too more advanced than what the Lakers can do, even if there is no shot blocker out there, and AD and LeBron should do well when they play small or whatever else. I don't trust D'Angelo Russell. Like, he was good the other night. He was good the other night, but it's just like, nah, man. Like, the margins, if the margins are thin, I'm going to trust on knuckleheads to be knuckleheads and ruin it for people, right? Like, so yeah, like, is there a chance? Is there a chance that like D'Angelo, runs the clock out on LeBron like JR did?
I mean, D'Angelo was. Is one of the last teammates of Kobe Bryant.
Yeah. Sabotage. Fuck him, being better.
Lay it down.
That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, man. But yeah, like, look.
The sickle was like myself. I'd be like, I see the play here.
So. All right, so we've talked about that series. I'm watching right now. I'm watching Suns versus Nuggets. I didn't watch Game 1, but they beat the hell out of them. So right now this game's close between them two.
Got to guard the inseam. That's what you got to do.
My main thing is like, How long before they just basically say, look, man, every single play, whether it's Chris, whether it's Booker, whether it's Durant, we are putting Nikola Jokic into the pick and roll every single possession. And we finna make that man look like the worst defender in the league. But yeah, like right now, the Phoenix has a 1 point lead right now, but and they're like start second quarter. But yeah, I'm that's interesting to see. One series that I don't know if I'm going to have the stomach and patience to sit through. Heat Knicks. I
don't care.
I don't think I can do it, bro. I don't think I can
don't
do it.
care.
Like, bro, I watched like a quarter of Cavs Knicks, and I was like, hey man, I can't go back to them old days. Like I can't go back to the days when it was playing when it actually was like long shorts out there. So I can't go back to this. I can't go back to the muck. I can't do it.
Yeah, man. Like the Jimmy Butler's cool, like Jimmy Butler and everything like that. No shit. I just I feel like the playoffs done got fucked up because the Bucks done fucked around and lost, and now it's just like it's a mad dash. Embiid's hurt now. It's like I thought that great Eastern Conference we were setting up to get was going to happen, and it has broken into some other shit at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I think most of that comes down to like we just thought like the two best teams in the East are Boston and Milwaukee. The Milwaukee lost, and obviously like a really strong number 3 is the Sixers, but it's like we really gonna trust James Harden past round 3. You know what I'm saying? And
that usually is not the way. Like Pete Dunne would say.
Right. So for me, like that was impressive to see Harden, win this game tonight. But I'm still like, how it is with him. Like he gets worse as series progress. So we'll see. But like I'm definitely gonna watch that series. I'm gonna watch every series. And when is Jimmy coming back?
So who's coming back?
When is Jimmy Butler coming back?
Didn't
because I think he's going to be missed game 2.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure. I didn't hear about him missing game 2.
Look, if he ain't there, I ain't either. I am not watching the fucking Miami Heat in a playoff series without Tyler Hero and Jimmy Butler. Are you insane?
Heat Knicks. This is a real tribute series. They about to try to run out there. Where's the 77-76 at? The 78-75 final score.
Terrible vision. Terrible tasting vegetables. Terrible tasting vegetables. Nah, man, I can't do it. I don't.
Can we get Jeff Van Gundy on the sideline? Like this seems familiar. Where's Pat Riley?
Yeah. I wonder.
I saw Alonzo there.
Yeah, because Alonzo's out of them games and he has some seats. So I wonder, like, if like Van Gundy can like walk from the booth or like pregame, walk up to Alonzo and talk to him, whatever else. They can just play the clip. So it's like just anything for an excuse to play the clip. Of them fighting in Jeff Van Gundy grabbing onto that man's leg for dear life.
Right.
But yeah, man, like it's been a fun playoff so far, and I really think they're like, in a weird way, like I feel like I feel like there are 5 teams that can fucking win, which is like that never happens. You can never say that.
Anybody can be beat.
I guess so. But yeah, like we'll be back next week to see what happens. Like right now.